step inside the door.
Get ready on them timers.
Juan's number one, right? Okay, I'll listen for his dulcet tones.
Everyone's ready, starting timer. Oh, hold on.
Alright, fucker.
Check your groups.
Group 2 spore.
Healing.
You're good, Papa. Group 3 spore. Oh, it moved. Shit. Group 4 spore. You gotta turn it, rotate and pop. Group 5 spore.
You just be sure to stand in front of Laura.
Fuck. That's fine, just leave it there. Group 6 spore. Group 7 spore. Group 8 spore. Group 2 spore. Group 3 spore. Group 4 spore.
First Doom coming.
Group 5. Group 6.
Doom meeting in 5.
Group 7.
Do we pop?
Group 8.
Yes, reapply your greater shadow protection.
Group 2.
Flee before it's too late.
Group 3. Group 4. Group 5.
Healthstone.
Burn it.
Nice job, healers.
Fools! You think
Way to go, you
yourselves
guys.
triumphant?
Way to go.
You have only taken one step closer to the abyss.
Desecrated leggings.
Portal to the beginning in the room.
Yeah, why are you guys running wrong way?
I mentioned it because I forgot to. To the horsemen.
Probably to Gluth, right?
Horseman.
Horseman?
We got our best chance to Zerg, what's his nuts? Thane.
What's his nuts?
Move amp magic.
These horsemen are going down.
Not lose our world buffs to the trash.
Man, the pile of Bill's team's bodies are still here.
So for desecrated leggings, we have leggings of the Black Blizzard for Stag. That would make him 2 of 9. Leggings of Transcendence for 1. That'd make him 4 of 9. A couple different leggings for Priest Mode. That would make him 3 of 9. Cookie Council voted up.
Do we get a price?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Sorry, I'm behind.
Circle on hunters when it's safe.
I've never pulled this string.
Just know you could kill every one of us.
Yeah.
just
Let's have a priest ready. If we accidentally get the ghouls, we can shackle the circle and take care of the ghouls just as a backup.
Okay, I'll be here.
It's now good. I feel like now's okay.
What are you trying to get,
Yep.
Circle?
Circle, right? Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Inside that. Watch out for ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
You can max range that bolt.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
You will when they touch your butt.
Okay, ghouls.
Grats, priest mode.
Thanks, guys.
Patrol's here, let's grab it. Nope, let's wait. Casters are there.
Ooh, chain scraps. Nice. Double chain.
Just what we need.
We all moving up.
Yeah, just hug right because there's ghouls on the ramp.
We need our healers here first before we pull.
We can stack these.
Can't really get range on that guy.
Yeah, I think we'll pull X if we try and hit.
Even from here?
I can get it from here. Now I'm hiding.
We're gonna fight these up here.
Ready?
Ready.
Or can I trade a mage for food?
See that? Just open trade. I got you.
I got crits. Sorry, who was that?
Cool. No worries.
No, you didn't give me any.
Sorry, I just traded my last stack to danger.
Yeah, you good, you good.
I realized I accidentally traded my last stack too. I was making some mid-fight.
I got like 7.5k health actually. I think I'll get.
I don't got any more space for it, man.
Okay, let's go down for these. On tanks.
It's getting close to those casters. I don't want to pull yet.
Lintock, is your hearth at Light's Hope?
Yeah.
Stag, will you please put a portal off to the side to Orgrimmar or wherever?
Use
Incoming.
The first kill goes to me. Anyone care to wager?
Thanks for saying something, Lintock.
Yeah, I don't want to cause a wipe.
Yeah, we want to give this our best shot. Everyone else, warriors, you have your reel in your bags?
I do.
Nice job, Red Hoof.
I'm not taking it back out now that we can get this far.
It's like the new Ani necklace.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't want Dawn to resist.
I'm not sure how far out that one patrol was.
It's a long path. There's two of them.
Okay.
Are we charging at it? No, we need to line of sight it, right?
Yeah, we should be able to get all the casters on that timer, and then you can run forward and LOS it.
Ghouls on hunters.
They can be disarmed.
I guess in this case it's literal.
Yeah. I didn't realize it, but watching the raid this morning, I saw it.
Goose. Line aside that guy. Oh, the pat's coming. Let's wait for the pat. Two necros and a rider. Remember, casters, you can max range the rider. We want to split up Skull and X. Don't let the AoEs overlap. Don't die on this pack. Let's do Skull right and X left.
And you want square in the middle?
Middle's fine, just like where it is now is good.
You said skull right?
Yep. Okay, line of sight, spirit over here.
This up.
Incoming.
Go come in.
Same thing as before. X blinked, careful. Let's get these casters. All right, we're going to open the door, but practice out here for a bit.
What's the aggro range on these ghouls and dogs over here?
Enough that you're as far right as you want to be.
The dead body is.
Okay.
Pig and Amora, can you guys be bosses in the back here? Diamond's here. Moon's over there. Running over here.
Sorry, who's here?
Trying. Okay, I'm going to link you guys a spreadsheet that has assignments. Alistar put this together. Thanks, Alistar.
I love spreadsheets. It was oodles of fun.
Okay, it's in the Friday raid channel. So just open that up and you can look at the red tabs, which are the first two tabs. And we'll talk about it extensively as well. Don't worry about your short cooldown buffs. We'll still have our 2-hour buffs.
Idea is, by the way, that you can find your column with your name on it, and then just copy paste into Notepad or screenshot just your thing, and that way you'll have your movement thing right up in front of your face and don't have to worry about anything else.
Danger, I'm going to use you for center safe spot. So Danger is basically at the bottom of the steps in the center. That's the safe spot. It's not upstairs, it's on the bottom. And then Skull is Thane, X is Mograine, Diamond is Blamo, and Moon is Zeliek. So with the Zerg strat, we kill Skull first. That means anyone without a special job is going to just burst DPS Skull. So Pop is going to tank Skull. We're going to have Thag first on Mograine. Rawhide's going to relieve him. So Rawhide starts in the center. And so do I. First Moon tank is Will. First Diamond tank is Red Hoof. Lintok is second Diamond tank, and Barris is second Moon tank. So Lintok and Barris also start in the middle for a second.
Before it's too late.
So question. Can I go to get my nail file, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do on Mark 9 because I don't have any pom-poms.
Sorry about that. Forgot to take that out. It just you weren't doing that much, so I didn't want you to get bored.
So, just one quick question for Alistair. Am I supposed to move on 5 or 6? Am I supposed to?
The idea, in theory, is that Skull is going to die on 5. So he had in this comes straight out of Bill's dot videos, which are linked on one of the other tabs, and it had you moving on 5, but the trigger for that really, I think, is the death, right, Bill?
Yes.
But I don't move to X until move 6?
Let me find your name so I'm looking at the right thing here.
Whenever Skull dies, you can move to the center, or you can move anywhere, really. It really opens up for healers after Skull dies.
Just not in range of where I need to be for the 6, which is X.
Yeah, marks 5 and 6, I mean, they're 12 seconds apart. So if Skull dies like right on 5, then you have 12 seconds where you may want to hover in the center before you move to your mark 6 target so that you don't get your...
That's all. I just wanted to make sure, because it said move on 5, but then it said move to X, and I just wanted to make sure I wasn't supposed to move someplace specific. Got it.
We're going to call out mark numbers as they happen.
Just to note, last time I was starting where Moon is, and it took me a little bit to run to the other side, but even me going almost all the way to the corner, I was still picking up first mark from Mograine, which would be X here. So if you are assigned to Moon or starting on Diamond or Moon, make sure you go like a little bit further than where you'd normally stand to make sure you don't pick up an additional mark for where horsemen are getting in place.
The range is 65 yards, so it's a big range.
Two separate times last time I picked up marks, and I was literally right on the horse's ass, so there is not much leeway until they are right in position.
Somebody asked if we're calling out marks. I'm pretty sure DBM does, right?
Yeah. What it does is it gives you a warning that a mark is coming. Doesn't put the numbers up on the screen unless they snuck that in today's update and didn't put it in the release notes. I would pay them to do that.
The week or add-on that somebody gave in Guild gives you a Thames Naxx pack. It gives you a count on all your debuffs. It's essentially a full Naxx week aura.
The debuff, though, if you're not getting it, I think what they're referring to is the total number is what this is referenced to, not necessarily how many marks you have.
The DBM shows the total number.
I think
I'm sorry, not DBM, the weak aura.
My understanding of the original question was that he was asking if someone was going to call out the mark, not the debuffs people have on them, but just the marks. Was that what your question was?
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody is calling the marks, it would help a lot because you could have 2 marks, but we might actually be on mark 3 or 4.
Well, the marks are going to be the same for everybody. How many debuffs each individual person has are going to vary depending on each individual person. But the marks are the same for everybody. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Yes, but if it's not being called out, we won't know where we're at.
So yeah, okay. So you have the same question that Mortush then had. Are we going to have someone calling that out?
I'm happy to have someone call it out. It just can't be me. Either that or you get the weak aura that puts it on the screen.
Is there anyone who thinks they're good enough at calling stuff out that would like to volunteer to call it out?
That maybe has the weak aura?
And really, it's only the first 5 or so that need to be called out. After that, you have a lot more individual responsibility with where you move.
So I'm installing the weak aura now. I'm happy to give it a shot if no one else feels more comfortable.
I mean, I'll do it if literally no one else volunteers, but I don't have the weak aura, and I'm not going to get the weak aura. So me calling it out might not be the best option, but I bet I can. I don't know. This game isn't rocket science. I'm willing to give it a shot, and I bet I could probably do it.
Yeah, the weak aura is the handiest. I tried it, and the problem is, as somebody stated, sometimes you can get an extra debuff, and so it's hard to tell which mark number you're on by counting your debuffs, which is what I was trying to do.
So yeah, I got you. Well, I don't have anything that tell me how many more, so I might not be.
If we have a volunteer who has the weak aura that tells them the
So
numbers,
when one of the
we
targets
would love
is dead,
it if you'd
do
call.
we just skip to the nearest boss or nearest horseman?
You posted in that Discord that we're all looking at tells you where to move, tells you exactly where to go. So who's asking? Is this? I'm not good.
Let's focus on what happens when they're all alive first.
So real quick question. For the ranged DPS, so on Mark 5 it says Skull dies move, and on Mark 6 it says move to moon. So is it a matter of like once Skull dies we start moving and then we're continuing to move through 6, or what's? I'm just looking for clarification on that.
What I would like to do is make sure we all understand what happens when they're all alive, because then it will be easier to explain what happens when they die.
Cool.
Yeah, and if it dies on 5, in effect, what you just described, yes, that he dies, you're going to start moving, and for 6, you should be at moon.
Cool.
Can we have healers at their start positions? And I'm going to ask Ali or Short Snout to verify those are all correct while we practice tanks. So just whisper those people if they need to move. So we've got Papa, Thag, Redhoof, and Will, right? So the first tank transition is going to happen at Mark 3. That's when I say Mark 3, that's global Mark 3, regardless of how many marks you as an individual have. I'm talking about the global marks. So after Mark 3, we're going to have Rawhide run towards X. Go ahead and do that, Rawhide. So just watch what Rawhide does for a second. He's going to taunt X. When he gets successfully onto Rawhide, Thag will run back. Thag is most likely going to take Mark 4 on that trip. That's fine. But then Thag will be at the safe spot in the center. Mark 3 is also when One-Eyed Will gets relieved. And who's relieving Will? Barris, right?
Correct.
Okay, Barris is going to go, taunts, and Will comes back to safe spot. Now remember, you're not at the back side of the square. You're with everybody else in the front of the steps. That's a safe spot even for backside. And then Redhoof, who's relieving Redhoof? Lintuck, okay. Lintuck taunts, Redhoof comes back. The important thing is the bosses never move, right? So you have to wait for your relief tank to get there and for them to successfully taunt so the target switches to them. Until that happens, you can't move. So let's go back to our original spots. Tanks, go back. What's wrong?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Tanks are back at their original spots. Papa's still at Skull. So notice Papa's staying at Skull this whole time. So he's just tanking Skull until it dies. So we got Mark 3. We're going to do all together now. Mark 3 rotation. Go Tanks. And Barris. Yep. Dyke comes back. Red Hoof comes back. Will comes back. Okay, good. Now we're going to do Mark 6. So I'm going to relieve X. But Rod, you got to stay there till your relief gets there. Red Hoof, you're going to relieve Moon. And Will, you're going to relieve Diamond. And I go to relieve Rawhide. And then Rawhide goes back to the middle. Okay, now we're doing Mark 9. Let's see if you guys have got this figured out. Papa comes to X. Lintok goes to Moon. Red Hoof comes back. Rawhide. Wait, who went to relieve Diamond?
I did. Well,
It should be Barris. Yep.
yeah,
And
he
then-
was already here. Yep.
Okay. And Ra, basically, once Skull is dead, there's not as much for the front tanks to do. So you can just go DPS something or be a backup.
Okay.
Again, it's really the first 5 or 6 marks that are critical to get right in the Zerg strat. Okay, I think tanks are sorted. You guys want to do a healer practice now? You guys good?
Yes, please.
You ready?
Do we want to say where that safe spot is? Is it going to be at the base of the stairs as we're facing the 4 horsemen now?
That's right. It's at the base of the stairs in front of them.
Does everybody understand that that's middle, not the top middle of the platform?
Yeah, I had that question. So when it says move to the center, it means move to the blind spot, not move to the center of the platform on top of the stairs.
I think it means at the center of the stairs as we're facing the 4 bosses there on the very first step, basically at that first step.
Yeah,
not
it's not
going
the
up the
center of
stairs.
the square.
Okay, so at the bottom of the stairs, not on top.
Yes, bottom of the stairs.
Correct.
And are both sides of the platform blind spots, or like just the side
No,
that's facing
only the
door?
front. Only
Okay.
the front.
And the other thing is, Red Hoof, I'm not sure if you know, but like when you tank yours to your corner, I don't know if you can see on the map, but there's sort of a nook that goes in as deep as possible. You want to get that boss as deep into that nook as possible. But that's all 4 tanks. We're going to have to pull them all the way. Otherwise, that safe spot will not work.
And I'm glad you mentioned this because the back part is a little tricky. There's actually 3 little indentations back here in each corner. There's one here, and one here. This one is a tiny bit deeper and bigger, and it's further from the middle, the safe spot. So this is where you want to be, is like where triangle is.
So Red, go to where Ville is.
Yeah. You'll see like this little very small indentation that it seems like that's where you should go, but you really want to be on this left one. Exact opposite for the tank on Moon. You want to be just over here. So you're not in the center indentation, you're right over here.
When we do the LOS, Ville, if you will ping those 2 spots for the back tanks, I think that'll be good because we'll be able to see the map then.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just a little...
Our mini map, I think they'll be able to see if you ping it once we get set up before the pull.
I think you might even be able to see it in the front left corner here.
Like if you look straight ahead of where I'm looking, like, you know, on the wall there's the tiny indentation to the right There's a big cubby there. That's where you want to be.
Cubby?
So on the
And
back
I,
side, there's
I
sort
will
of a
make
big
sure
cubby to the right.
on the pole. I will make sure you're in the right spot.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, healers.
Yeah. Okay, healers are ready.
Somebody asked about mark timing. The first mark is around 20 seconds, and it's 13 seconds after that.
13. Okay.
13 or 12?
It's 13. We double checked in the logs because everyone said it was 12, but it's really 13.
Is it 13 after that for the next one then? Is it a 13-second timer?
It's 13 for everyone after the first one. First one, you have a little bit longer. You have about 20 or 21 seconds. So 33, 46, etc.
Okay.
That's cool. That means 6 marks for a buff to fall off instead of 6.25. Yay.
Okay, healers. Mark 1. That is Knight move to Diamond, Juan move to Skull, Priest move to Moon, and Matus move to X.
I see Juan by Skull.
Yeah, he needs to move to Skull.
But I mean, not on Skull.
No,
Should we closer to the boss? Because that's a meteor boss, right?
You don't. You want to be out of meteor range.
Okay.
We're going to have like 20 DPS on Skull, so there'll be plenty of people to help soak.
Okay, perfect.
Is our approximate range now good between us and the boss?
Just max range it. Like every fight.
Max range on Papa.
This room isn't
Well-
large enough to get a realistic like spacing. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't the spacing here isn't the same as it will be in the next room. The room isn't big enough. So max range, I think, is your answer on that one.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It depends. I don't know for sure if max range will put you out of range of all the other marks. But you need to be at least 20 yards away to avoid getting targeted for meteor. There's a similar range restriction on Moon for the chain lightning shit, the I-beam.
Should we do slash range 20 then?
That's a great idea.
Well, it's not away from each other, just from the boss.
Yep, but then you can see if you're 20 yards from Papa, then you should know that if you're good.
20 yards from Papa is not what you want, because Papa and the boss will not be exactly the same spot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to make it like 23, 24 maybe.
But
I'm
however,
gonna eyeball it.
however you accomplish it is fine with me.
Okay. Mark 2. Let's enter
Be
back
quick.
to Diamond. Yeah.
Quick on those moves, guys.
We only have
Skull.
one healer here at Diamond right now. What's going on?
Should have 2.
Yeah, Nightmane and Amberbag should be on.
Sorry, did I miss the marks?
Juan, you should still be at Skull.
What mark are we on? What?
I think you should start over.
Yeah, we will only have Mark 2. Okay, starting over. Back to original positions.
And Priest and Face, why don't you come about here?
Okay, Mark
It's the
1.
worst. Okay, Nightmane, you should come to Face right here, not to the boss or the tank. Yes, correct.
Mark 2.
That's good.
Mark 3.
Tank, stay still for a second. I can only track so many things. That looked good, short.
Yeah. Mark 4.
Good.
Yeah. Mark 5.
Yeah, so 5, assuming he's dead around then, as long as you get away from Skull, you're doing it right. You can kind of go where you're needed. You know, the tank at X is going to take the most damage. Moon and Diamond are relatively safe, so they don't need as much healing. But you can basically rotate between those 3 spots continuously, and you won't have your debuff will fall off as long as you're waiting 3 marks at each spot.
Yeah.
Are we going to go on to 6 or move to a different group?
Yeah, we can try Mark 6. Because pretty much at this point it's just the triangle that we need to keep up.
And then after that, every 3 marks you rotate clockwise, and center counts as one of the spots. Comes after X.
Counts as Skull.
Center counts once one of the targets is dead. Another one of the targets is dead.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you can go Moon, X, Diamond all day long. You'll never get too many debuffs. But once another one of those is dead, you got to stop in the center.
Sounds good to me.
So you think by Mark 5, Papa's tank will be dead?
It has to be.
Okay. So
If it's not dead, we're not.
I
We're
just go straight to Diamond at that point? Do I just come here and I'll maybe throw a heal and then Mark 8, make my way to Diamond?
Take a look at the chart and move the way it says there.
I see. So I'm over here by X by the time you call Mark 5, right? So do I go
And when did you arrive at X?
Mark 2?
Okay, so at Mark 5 you need to move because you're at your 3rd mark on X, and you never want to take more than 3 as a
center
healer.
of the room or to over here by Papa?
Preferably to Diamond would be your next destination,
All right,
because
all right.
then you're going in a triangle.
All right.
Yeah, and if you look at, you're in column S and T on that sheet, and it says right there you move on 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, and at 2 it says X, 5, Skull, 8, etc., Diamond, etc. So you should be solid there. But as you're moving to Skull, if it drops, then you go on from there.
I have a question. If we're moving from the front of the room to the back of the room, do we cross the platform or do we go through the sides?
So for
If
instance,
you're-
if Skull is dead and you're moving from Cross to Diamond or what?
For example, look at my movements. Do I go like this? Or do I cross like this?
Where are you trying to go? From where to where?
From the center to the Diamond.
You can just go straight through.
Just go straight.
The only time you have to be careful about movement as a healer is around Moon, because of the I-beam shit. And it's kind of dangerous with tank transitions too. As the tank is running in to relieve the Moon tank, there could be chains, but as long as it's only the 2 of them, it's not fatal. But there should be no one, the worst possible thing is if there was a healer here and we had a chain to Will, to me, to a healer. You see what I'm saying? So healers ideally should be out of the way for tanks. Be out of the way of each other when you're doing the Moon transition. That's the dangerous transition.
What's the range on the I-beam on Moon?
I believe you can be targeted by it at about 35 yards.
Fuck, that's so, dude.
It's 30 or 35. So
max range.
If you don't have a big range spell cast, it's dangerous for you to even try to DPS it. So yeah, max range tier tank is in order for that one.
This may have been mentioned already, but I think it's important to reiterate that when a boss dies, it continues to cast its marks, so the corner doesn't become a safe spot.
Yeah, that's a good point. All their abilities will be off except for the marks. Those keep coming out, just like before.
Also, for the moon tank transitions, make sure that when you run in and the healers as well, you're not kind of grouped up and running in case the chain I beam hits the tank going in for the swap and then jumps to the healers. So you kind of want to be spaced out a bit.
After initial target, the chain range is 5 yards, so just don't be within 5 yards of the tank as they go in.
I'm getting that.
Okay, let's talk about the DPS. So DPS is going to go right for Skull, and we'll talk about the pull a little bit later. But basically, we're gonna start at the Skull statue. Papa's going to peek out, grab the boss, and run his ass to the corner. We're going to have melee DPSing the whole time during that run, because if a melee pulls aggro, Papa can taunt. But we need to go as hard as possible. Ranged have to watch it a bit more. You have to be a good judge of the threat meter, but most range are going to be stacked with the clump as well, the melee. So melee, when you're DPSing the boss, you can get right behind the boss and still be close enough to Papa to help soak meteors. That's the goal. So Barris and Rawhide. Who else wasn't tanking at first? Lintok. You guys can help DPS as well at the start and just wait for like 2 marks before you take off. All the DPS we can get will help.
Okay. I will do wheel
Now-
at the start for the swap.
That goes for the relief tanks as well, for the original tanks. So Thagomizer, when you get relieved at Mark 3, you can go over to Skull and help DPS it. Because all you're doing is letting your X marks fall off, right? Same thing for Red Hoof. Actually, not Red Hoof and Will. They have to stay to relieve Diamond, so there's not enough time really to get much DPS in. So you guys just do your thing in the back. Now, the tricky part is the 4 Horsemen shield wall at 50%. All of them. They also shield wall at 20%. But they won't do the second shield wall if you burn them to 20 within 30 seconds of them casting the first shield wall. So that's the whole idea behind the Zerg strat is you push them to 50 as quickly as you can. You burn them to 20 through the shield wall as quickly as you can. And then you want Skull to die before Mark 5.
Would you recommend 3-minute cooldowns and stuff, right more closer to the start, or at that 50%?
51%. We need to hit it.
For most people, that's what you want to do is hit it when the shield wall pops, because that's the burn phase. But if you have something that lasts a minute, like a Diamond Flask, you can hit it after like Mark 1, and it'll last till he's dead. If you have something like Death Wish that lasts 30 seconds, you can hit it at Mark 2, and it should last until he's dead. So you got to kind of tune your cooldown usage to be, the most optimal. Any short stuff though, like 15-second stuff, wait for the 50%.
How are we doing the poll?
Okay, so the pull, we're going to start in the Skull corner, everybody, and we're going to sneak up, line of sighting the statue until we're right in front of them, basically on the left. So everybody will start there. Tanks will go out and grab their targets, and then healers will go to their spots, and DPS will start on Skull. So Will has one of the toughest jobs because he's the first Zeliek tank. So he needs to grab Zeliek very quickly and run it to the corner before any I-beams go out.
Want me to charge in with skulls then?
I missed that question.
That charge in right away and just run out to the corner?
Yeah, your target's the far right. So as soon as you peek out, you can charge, and then just run to that corner.
Okay.
And it's the healer's job to keep up with you.
Also, make sure pre-shields are out on all tanks, and watch out for that weakened soul. See if you can pop a second one with fade. Anything to make it as smooth as possible for them to get right where they need to as fast as possible.
Yeah, the pull is really one of the toughest parts. Once you get them in position and they're all in the right position, and assuming you have the DPS to burn skull, it goes very smooth after that.
Should we maybe have a warrior whose job it is to disarm Zeliek when Will picks him up? Because they're all disarmable, right?
They're all disarmable, but except for Mograine, they do very little damage to the tanks. They're actually the weakest bosses in here in the whole instance.
Hitting me for 1k.
So Mograine is only dangerous because of his fire damage proc. That's why the tanks on him are wearing a little bit of fire resist to mitigate that. He basically has a proc like Ragnaros. He's really the only dangerous one. He also attacks faster than the others. They have a slow attack and they do very little damage. So I'm not too concerned about that. The biggest concern is burning Skull down as quickly as possible.
Starting tanks except Papa real on pull.
Say it again.
So for like me, Will, and whoever's going to be taking Diamond Papa real, and then we.
Yeah, you certainly can. It doesn't hurt anything. Your cooldown will be up in plenty of time before you need it again. Okay, so DPS, let's say we're burning Skull and we get him down by Mark 5. We need to get the hell away from him. We're going to head for X, because that's the next priority target. I should say melee is going to head for X. Range can go directly to Moon, because melee can't DPS Moon at all. So we're going to have range on Moon, just so that we're not waiting all night for Moon to die.
Unless your range is less than 35 yards, in which case, please don't.
Yes. If you have a short range DPS class, then you need to be a melee for this fight in terms of where you go. So melee goes to X first, then melee goes to Diamond, and then melee goes to the center spot to wait for their X marks to fall off, and then repeat. Repeat that until X is dead or Diamond is dead. Now, if Moon is the last target alive in your melee, you just sit there, unfortunately. Bandage some people. Range is going to go Moon, X, Diamond. Moon, X, Diamond. And they don't have to stop in the center at all until another one of those targets dies. Does that make sense?
So whatever target we're moving to, if I go to X, once X dies, I have to go to the middle.
He just means, what he means is you're not going to have, when you go Moon X Diamond, there's enough time for your first thing to fall off. When there's only 2 up, you're not going to have the full time to fall off before you have to go back, so you go to the middle. And so essentially, whenever you get the marks, 2 different marks on you, when there's only 2 up, just go to the middle and wait for the first one to fall off, then go back to your first one.
Cool.
But if X dies just as your Diamond marks are falling off, go right to Diamond. You don't have to wait in the middle, right? So it depends on when he dies.
Makes sense.
As Papa mentioned, Diamond does void zones on the ground, which do a ton of damage. It's about 5,500 shadow damage. They're avoidable. All you have to do is step out of them. You have to watch your feet all the time when you're at Diamond. It's good practice for KT. And that goes for the tank as well. So tank at Diamond has to always be watching their feet, move out of the void zone.
I'm gonna enjoy killing these slack-jawed daffodils.
When the tank is moving out of the void zone over there, do they have to be really careful where they move it would that change the radius of where everybody else takes marks if they move it in the wrong spot?
Yes, if they're real pro, they move just outside of it so that the next one drops and overlaps with the first one, and they keep doing that.
And then go away over time.
You don't want to like make a big, massive jump somewhere and like go too far away because then they'll be giving marks to everybody, right?
You're not trying to color in the whole triangle with black spots. Just overlap as much as you can.
Does the void zone always drop on the tank or just whoever's in range?
It can drop on melee and range.
But you only
I-
drop a time.
Now, I don't know how far out they can go, so I don't know how far out healers have to be for them to not drop on healers.
So would it be better to have everyone kind of spread out or stacked?
Spread out is good. Okay, any other questions before we do this with buffs?
Yeah, I have just one question
Sure.
for the totem drops. Like, I'm gonna drop a totem at Skull right as we go in, but like, will the 6 mark be done by the 2-minute mark? Because like, I don't wanna have to go
Yes.
in range to Papa to redrop one and then get
Yep,
meteored.
you only have to drop at skull one time. And for Thag, Quell needs to drop in the X corner at the start of the fight as well. And the most important totem in the X corner is fire resist. Yeah, so for this pull, because we have world buffs, we should all pre-pot shadow and fire. I have a few extra fire pots if you need them. And I should say DPS. I'm talking about DPS specifically here, and Papa.
He already popped it long ago.
Do healers still have to do that as well, or?
Healers don't have to do fire because they won't take meteor, and they don't have to do shadow because they'll never take more than 3.
Okay.
You can if you want to, though. It gives you a little bit of an oh shit, or a little bit of a contingency.
The ranged are asking as well. To like mages and stuff, do they need fire?
Yes, they're all going to be soaking.
A couple quick questions.
Sure.
So for that soaking, so it's like the meteor from like the Anubis South, whatever, Guardians or something?
Exactly right.
Okay, so, but I'm a hunter, so do I go melee hunter or the closest possible range?
Hunters can stand with the healers, because we'll have plenty of soakers. Yeah, good question.
And then, and just for range in general, so I go, I guess, max range, more or less, when I'm DPSing everything since I'm a hunter. Go to X, Zerg it down, then Skull, Zerg it down, and then go Moon X Diamond the whole way. And
That's
the
right.
stack should fall off, like you said, but if they
Yes.
don't, go to middle, bottom of staircase, sit
got
it
it.
out, and
Now, one thing that's important is, depending on how our DPS is, we could be in danger of taking Mark 5. So after Mark 4, we'll all take 3,000 damage. I'm talking about DPS now. We'll take 3,000 shadow damage. We might take a meteor. So we've got extra healers on that corner, the skull corner, to help heal us up. But we're also helping with our pre-pots on that. But after Mark 4 goes out, we need to pop another shadow protection potion, because that's the only way to survive Mark 5 for most people.
Could we do another healer practice? I just want to make sure that everyone knows exactly where to go. Like, we only have one shot with world buffs, so what's a little extra practice?
Maddox, I don't understand your comment exactly. Pre-pop both of those if you're a DPS.
He's saying the 2 minutes have run out, you can pop another pot.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tank diamond around.
Now, we also had 13 healers, if I remember right, and I didn't have Zug life assigned. Is that correct? So Zug, you should help on Skull around Mark 4.
In future, you can put 2 names in the column where you want him
Yeah.
to be. Yeah.
It doesn't matter where he goes as long as he's helping Skull when it gets dangerous. Is that cool, Skull? Zug?
Yeah, I'm not there from Mark 1. You want me to come in later?
Come in around Mark 3
Okay.
and just do raid healing. Yeah, what Mocha said, that will help too.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of raid healing, I think, between the first as we're killing Skull. So maybe Short Snout's already addressed that situation with the healers.
The positioning and moves also addresses it because Phil has a couple extra coming in from center to help.
Yeah, I don't want to die, but at the same time, I don't want all our raid to die either if I'm getting overhealed. So
just range, be a little careful on threat until Skull's in the corner. We don't want to pull aggro. Melee can go ham right at the start, and we're just moving as a group with Papa.
All right, get your consumes up.
So everybody hug the left on this wall here. Stack on triangle.
Zug, wake up, buddy.
We don't need shields yet. We're going to get to the safe spot first. Eagle, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
No,
Okay, cool. Is everybody here? Okay, do what Bill does.
Maddox?
Nope, everybody's
Wait,
not
Zug,
here.
Zug is not here.
Did he just ask a question?
Literally just asked a question.
Like
Yeah.
fucking a minute ago.
Yeah, swear to God.
Yeah, you gotta go to your left a little bit.
we're gonna have to make sure he takes. We gotta make sure Zug takes the wide.
Sorry, I'm a
turn.
little bit confused. I didn't know if I stayed here or not.
We ranged have to go up there since we stay here anyway. Can we just like stack where we're gonna be? Is there a reason
No,
we need to be up?
because we're gonna pull the boss where y'all are standing. So if you're standing with
Hold
us
on.
by the statue,
Hold on. Range can be in the corner already. That's okay.
Okay.
Melee need to be up here. All the tanks need to be up here, and healers need to be up here.
But
He's offline.
This is a straight line, boss. You have to go straight back and forth.
Yeah, and the more you guys are doing that, it's making me nervous.
There's just asked a question like a minute before he.
I bet
He's
you're
offline.
fucked up.
He DC'd. We'll just chill till he gets back.
Check, check.
Fuck! Fuck!
Arth.
Go.
Who's next?
Who's on diamond?
Arth out if you can.
Who's tanking?
Papa's dead. Well,
Forgive me.
Swipe.
So maybe not go in the room until we're good to go.
Everyone clicked
We're good
ready.
to go.
Everyone clicked ready. Literally everyone.
Oh shit.
Everyone has to run back. We can't res in here. We're going to run back and take our break and hopefully be more focused when we come back.
Can taunts still resist with real?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what happened to me on that pull. I popped real, taunted, and I saw the resist, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Wonder if marking blow can help too, but I get a diminishing return out of it.
It's only a stopgap because he'll switch back to his previous target after it's done.
Oh, okay. Doesn't transfer like full threat or anything.
Right.
I gotcha. Okay.
Are we still gonna do the Zerg strat?
Yes.
Ups anymore.
Almost everyone does the Zerg strat even without world buffs.
It's more about positioning and getting the mobs in the proper position. The reason we had such a high, I realized that the last time we pulled this boss, only like 9 of you were there because it was the NL version of the raid. So hardly any of you have actually pulled this before. But the issues we had, if you were watching on the stream, the issues we had with not being able to get the first boss down without world buffs wasn't because we didn't have the DPS. It was because the positioning was incorrect and people were ripping aggro off the start. If we pull properly and we can position properly quickly and people aren't ripping aggro, we have more than enough DPS to do the Zerg strat with no world buffs.
I agree.
I have a group of friends that I talk to from other guilds and whatnot, and I know 8 or 9 different raid corps that have all 100% told me that it's very doable to do Zerg strat with no world buffs. In fact, 100% of them have done it successfully, and they say it's not very challenging. But the positioning and the pull and getting is challenge. That's the challenging part. We just got to get the positioning and pull and make
Just
sure
gotta be
everyone
careful now because we have people that have wall buffs, but the tanks do not. So if you get wall buffs, give it a minute.
Life is meaningless. It is in death that we are truly tested.
I can't believe how many people hurt out alive. Almost half the raid corps saved themselves.
I think I had 3 of the bosses on me, so that's why I died.
You lived so we could. You died so we could live.
I mean, it might be nice to have been try to able to get some practice there.
At least
But
one of the things have them.
how long do people have left on some of their world buffs?
About 30 minutes.
Minus all the time to get here.
I got 20.
And minus break time.
Now we can log for break.
And if you mess up, end up back at the front.
I got a timer.
What's the timer for logging
5
out so you
minutes.
don't get moved?
A minute.
Okay. 1 minute or 5 minutes?
5 minutes, and if you're offline for that long, it'll port you to the front.
Okay.
What's this about a ghoul, Pat? Talking about the one we skipped already?
Good question.
Wait, no, it's the one we skipped.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to say there was a respawn. Like, what? Well, for those online, you can do your pre-pot on your shadow and fires.
We're not going to pre-pot for this next poll until we get our poll down pat.
Can't help it.
Rayleigh's got
Question.
this.
So, can you sneak to the back corners?
Probably, but the problem is as you poll, you're probably not, one side or the other is not going to have LOS to grab your mob, probably, if you do it that way. Does that make sense? Because you're going to be underneath one side or the other. So like whoever gets aggro first, the four are going to go down the stairs on that side. So if you're on the back side, you're going to miss. Or if you grab them all, then our side's not going to be able to get it. I think he's saying Mocha because the moon is the difficult one to get out of there.
Well, no. I was mainly because Red didn't see wants to kind of have a general idea of where the tank diamond. So I was like, I think you could. I was thinking you could sneak back there and just kind of see how that corner looks.
Where we were standing just before the pole, you could sort of see the nook back there, I think, pretty easily. I think once we get in our pole position, Vil could actually ping it as well.
Well, if you look at the front, the back ones are similar. So if you see how the front one's got the cubby hole there, the cubby hole in the corner, and the cubby hole to the side, that's kind of the same way.
Yeah, there's pretty much a left alcove back here where you're going to hold the diamond.
The back looks a little different than the front, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Guess I'm sort of facing it there, Red Hoof.
Fuck, I needed to change my Hearthstone from Kargath. Fuck my life.
Why is it there anyway?
Because I forgot I haven't changed it yet. I just changed it now.
Better get on the bird, nerd.
No, I'm already back. But it's like break is me running fucking back.
Yeah, I feel you.
No piss or
Nice
nothing.
rhyme, though, Ryan.
Oh, I thought Vil was behind me, but it's just nothing to do with conch shoulders.
I love Red Hoof.
I love you too.
You point out the best stuff. Now I don't have world buffs. All gone. That made me laugh.
Maddox, the Lions took my world buffs. Can you get me my world buffs in 2 minutes?
So the other day, Tuesday. Actually, this was yesterday.
Tuesday.
Was it Tuesday?
No,
Okay.
No, it was yesterday. No.
Yeah, yeah. So I summoned Papa out to Dark Moon Fair, and as many of you guys probably know, Dark Moon Fair has been a shit show both this month at Elwyn and then 2 months ago when it was at Elwyn Forest as well. And
Fun for me.
yeah, fun for some, but for those trying to secure their buffs, it's been a pain in the ass because Flagged Alliance will sit right on top of Sage. Well, this week they went a step further and they created an alt called Sage Me. And so even if people did /target Sage and interact with target, it didn't work because you would it prioritizes targeting player targets over the NPC. So you would target the Sage Me mage that was out there. And that's what Papa did. He even went as far as to do /target Sage and targeted the mage and accidentally attacked the mage and flagged himself and lost his buffs. So we Pig and some others. I don't remember who else.
Trihex helped too.
Yeah, Trihex and a few others helped Papa get a buff train going and get all his buffs back. And Papa made the comment afterward. He's like, "Man, I should just say that Alliance wiped my buffs every week. This is way faster than me having to try and get my buffs on the own. We lined everything up for him."
Yeah, he started at Sky Killer, summoning him down, and then we just summoned him everywhere else.
Yeah, we got a good train going for him. All right on time too. Like the timing was impeccable.
Yeah, like he just
It was great.
Lovely.
Moon
Where
Fair.
the hell were you?
But Maddox posted something in Discord to be extra safe on that. If you mount up first, you just about can't make a mistake that can hurt you. So it's a good suggestion.
What's the timer on, Rick?
It's over.
It's over. So we're gonna do a couple pieces of loot before we get going with the next poll. We have two pieces of loot to take care of first. So we'll crank these out while they're fresh, and then we'll go into the poll. Desecrated leg guards.
Rebuff.
So to repeat, don't do your pre-pots for this poll until we get the poll nailed down. And you don't need to do shadow protection because it can't protect you against anything here.
Okay, so we have runny crits and cage. And an AFK shaman. Quell, are you interested in the Desecrated Leg Guards? If you are, you can link or roll. Quell, Cage, running crits.
How many pieces would that be for you, Quell?
Got a roll off, a good old fashioned roll off, folks.
Double 69.
Don't you love when roll-offs tie?
I don't want to go first. I'm scared.
You have to. Trial.
First roll usually wins.
Unless you roll a 1.
Oh, that's a big one.
Told you.
Incoming 98.
Oh,
That's lame.
Cage, roll just to see.
Why?
Just
No,
roll it.
no, go for it. I'll pass.
Congratulations.
I don't have an appeal
Trent.
anyway, you know, so.
Yeah, roll just to see what you would have gotten.
Lotheb's
Quell roll?
reflection.
Hey, it's like that one from AQ, except worse.
Have to win that, then whisper ill.
Crits come with the fire.
Oh, hey guys. Please, I know some of you guys don't check Discord that often. I pinged everybody a day or two ago in raid announcements. Please check out that Google Doc. That's just the most recent thing in raid announcements, and you can kind of see what I'm trying to track. Please message me in Discord with your current frost resist and the pieces you use to get that current frost resist. And if, like I said, if you just look at the Google Doc, you can see what it is I'm looking for. And then please, as you get more, just continue to message me, and I'll update it as you get more stuff. Thanks, guys.
For heroes, we don't need that much, right? Like just a ring.
Okay, I'm seeing Lintalk with a 92.
That's what I see.
I see crits with a 97.
He passed.
He passed.
They can't plan how to help everybody get the frost resist if we don't send that message to Ilt on Discord. So it is very important we do that.
And yeah, healers, please let me know as well, because you will also need some frost resist.
I'm sorry, what tab is that in?
Raid announcements.
Oh, sorry.
All right, folks, let's practice our straight line going in. No shimmying, straight line.
Zugbear, Stag, Thag, Nightmare.
Sorry, my client decided to go fuck you and kick me out. I got buff.
Everybody's back in. Everybody's coming in.
I'm good at straight line bosses. Don't worry about me.
Thanks.
And so are casters staying back this time, or are we going with?
Casters, stay back.
Okay.
Max range casters.
Yeah, so Quell is center for first, and then on Mark 3 going to Skull. So I think it's good if she drops the fire resist totem and just beelines it to center.
Yep, that's fine. And same for drum roll. Drum roll, you can stay in the corner and drop your totem and then go where you need to go.
Yep.
Okay. Now I'm going to go with Red Hoof at the start to make sure she's in the right spot, and then I'll come over to Will and do the same thing. Okay, so melee and tanks and healers are going to sneak up, unless I said otherwise.
It's exciting now.
Okay, I'm going to do a pull timer, and then tanks, when that timer expires, you go grab your targets and go to your spots. Now, please don't use your long cooldowns, warriors. This is a practice pull. Feel free to use your short cooldown stuff.
What side are we peeking on? So we all know where to grab the mobs, I guess.
I would suggest Papa and Red Hoof go left, and you two go right.
Well, what I mean is, if you all peek on the left, they're all whoever's gonna go
It's just
first.
tanks. Just tanks are peeking.
I'm going on the left, if that helps you.
Remember to save cooldowns for the right moment.
First mark and 5.
Back down.
Right to triangle red.
Stack up for meteor.
X is loose.
X is just murdering people.
Red Hoof, back up a bit.
That good?
Yeah, where that void zone is, where I died, is where you want to be. Just get him as close to the wall as you can.
Yeah, we did cooldowns on skull.
We need heals on Papa.
Will, you're in a good spot.
I got it, Will.
Rawhide down. Couldn't get to him in time.
Okay, run back.
Too close, Night Maiden.
That was a good attempt.
Yeah, back tanks. You guys were solid. Just keep doing what you're doing. Now, what happened in the front?
I died before I can get it to the corner.
Stream, random question. Were you able to multi-shot for like the first bit of that? Because it wasn't letting me.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems. I mean, it shouldn't.
Really? Yeah, it was weird. Like it just wouldn't input for the first like 10 seconds. I don't know if it was like something about it.
Were you too close, maybe?
No, I was max range, like the 40 yards or whatever.
Hey, Short, I guess I'm slightly confused because so we start where we're all stacked up, and then but I'm not supposed to move until first mark. So I guess I'm kind of in limbo. I don't really know where I'm supposed to be standing in that time.
in the chart where you are? Is there like there should be a?
It says stand and scold, but we were.
Yeah,
Okay.
the start mark is as soon as the tanks pull, we all run towards our start mark and start healing our tank as they're running. So the start mark is the boss that your tank is on, who will not be in his corner yet. So you have to kind of run with your tank and heal them as they get it to the corner.
But if you're starting on Skull, you're kind of already in the right spot.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was kind of like just standing there. I'm like, I think I'm in the right spot. I was just double checking, I guess. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect.
Should have been through in priest mode, asked a shit ton of questions. He's not really good. I don't know how.
Yes, questions are the best way for us to move forward. And I noticed that the horsemen, there's a little bit of a kind of a scramble because some people went up the side and then they had to go down and kind of chase the horsemen. And if we're going to pull one direction, we should probably all go that way and then pick them up and then move the different ways that we need to from there.
I'm going to peek on the left side since I'm grabbing the skull that has to get early aggro. And if you guys can see how they adjusted then, we can at least keep it consistent.
Why am I running to Lotheb?
You tell us.
Yeah, all four of you can go left.
As long as we all go up the stairs together, then I think we should be good.
And it's just the tanks going up the stairs. Well, and the healers, of course, that are assigned to those corners.
Yeah.
Overall, it went smoothly. About how long do you think is like the duration of this fight? Like 4 minutes, 5 minutes? Like say like Mark.
This is an execution fight.
It's hard to say. I mean, the one of the limiting factors is how many DPS survive the first part.
Did you get a gauge on what our DPS was?
No, there were too many deaths, and Thag died, so it wasn't a good one to gauge it.
The first healers on Thag, was there any issues with getting in position or anything we need to discuss?
No, we just didn't move our asses.
Yeah, and I'd say that sums it up pretty concisely.
Yeah, I got like a few heals for like 1,000 and then 400, but I'm getting melee hit for 1,200 and fire damage for 1,000, and yeah.
Now, Thag's healers, which are the X healers, if you want, you can start in the other corner, the extreme of the corner, and just come up when you see the mobs move and get in your spot.
I was thinking I would, but I would almost think it might be a good idea to have one priest in that group run with Thag, and the other two of us waiting in the corner.
That works too.
Yeah, I'll run with him.
Yeah.
You guys can start.
And if you pre-bubble him before the pull, then you'll be able to hit him with a second one as he's running, you know? Because I don't think threat's going to be a big problem on him, right? So.
I don't think so.
All right, move into position and let's buff up in the corner.
Whoa, what?
Man, face
You gotta hug that wall, guys. You really gotta hug that wall.
We're trapped.
Will they come through the door?
Can't remember.
Hey, Short, can I have this corner? Short, can I have this corner to feint? Like,
So once we're all dead, my reincarnation is up, and my head is sticking inside the door. You think I'd be able to pop and get out and res people?
If you're at the door, yes.
I also have jumper cables that we could
Yeah, no,
get
I'm
a
just.
whirl.
We'll do it as an experiment to see, because literally my head is sticking into the door.
Yeah, we just left.
Okay, I'm popping. Don't get up yet if you're a hunter. Don't get up.
Wait for void zone.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I can pop. Just give me a second. I'm waiting for.
But it didn't pull him though, so yeah, we should be able to do some wipe recovery if we get some rezzers to die right at the door.
Andu is alive.
Yeah, I'm running back.
I should be able to get.
Door.
I'll try on Kej to see.
I want the corner to be our buff spot. Actually, no, we have some people going to the other corner, so we need to buff before we go in from now on. Because we have people that are, not everyone is going to the same spot at the start.
At least yours are
Yes!
both.
I love it when it worked.
But when you do go in, you need to hug the wall. Like, I don't know how many times I can say it. They have a huge aggro radius. And yeah, please don't be consuming yet. We're still learning the pull and positioning. So keep your consumes until we're confident that we know what we're doing.
Lintok, you might be kind of fucked.
What's that?
Oh yeah, Lintok's not reachable.
I think you can reach him, maybe. But...
Nope, let's not. He
Yeah,
can run back.
We've had enough.
Yeah, Thagameister, I don't want to risk that. Unless someone wants to be a brave soul, they can go by themselves.
But it'll come and kill all of us, so...
Nope, we have Thag back off, so...
Nice. I'm excited. This brings me back, guys. Remember the days on MC Trash? Ah, yes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Talking about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
I'm nostalgic that we're actually interpreting a decent challenge with this game. I'm happy, guys.
You're high.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time.
Oh,
I'm not sure it's a challenge. We're losing a peekaboo boss. This is ridiculous.
I would just like to see more. I would like to see more learning and less ass pulling.
Yeah, what Bill said.
Hear that, Torrens?
You just one good pull, so we can actually get stuff down to be great.
We're going to get one of Ilt's motivational speeches soon. I can't wait.
All right, getting a lot of summons today, Lintok.
Yeah.
Almost there on the buffs. Good to me.
Spot buffs on Rawhide, please.
Lincock needs a fort still.
Go to your spots. Hug the wall, please.
Stag needs a fort.
It's just practice.
Still need,
I'll get later, like, depends on it.
even though practice priest, we need to buff.
Yes.
If you lag out, just stop, and then hug the wall once you get, lag back in.
Okay, we're doing ready check. When that's done, we're going to do straight line boss, and then we'll do pull timer. Everyone's ready? Straight line boss. All 4 tanks are going left.
Shield up. Very good.
Not good.
At all.
First mark in 3.
Face melt to the right, behind you. Nice.
Thag, you need to be more in the corner. Just jam it into the corner. Yep.
Yeah, we got 2 marks here.
Pop buffs. Cooldowns.
We're on mark 3, by the way.
Coming back.
Got it, Will.
Mark 4. Mark 5.
Remember, red hoof where triangle is the safe spot.
All groups need it on the melee really need to be topped off like all the way by before Mark 4 goes.
Oh no.
How do I get a oh?
A lot of that damage is going to be mitigated if when we're actually pre-potting.
Run back.
Sorry, I've got a stupid question. So
Barris.
both
Hold on
times
one
now.
sec. Hold on one sec. Hold on one sec.
Sure.
Barris, you see where I'm at? This is where you want to be.
Alright.
Yep.
I just grabbed it from where Will had it.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. So both times now, immediately when Mark 4 ticks up, I've almost insta-died. What am I doing wrong?
You're not doing anything wrong.
Okay.
Is that Thagamaster?
No, that's Nidat.
Yeah,
We
the
have to
ranged
be-
are all instant dying around Mark 4. If I'm not mistaken, it's just a DPS race to get it down before the meteor kills us. That's why in a normal poll, when we have the polls down and we've have a high degree of confidence that we're ready to make a true go at it, we'll pre-pot Greater Fire Protection Potion, and that will aid us through the first couple shots of the meteor to last more than what we're surviving now, and give us enough time to DPS it down.
Got it.
Here's the thing: we have
dying. Like if the DPS are constantly dying when the skull boss is at 50% because we're not popping potions, how good of a true pull can we really get? In terms of practice and stuff.
We're just trying the consistency of tank positioning right now, I think.
Yeah,
you noticed how long it took Skull to get to the corner? That's what we're trying to work out.
All the bosses have to get to the corner as quick as possible. As soon as that happens, we'll know that we got the pull down, and then we can start popping consumes.
So even with that, I mean, everything that Stream and Barris just said is true. But even with that, we had the skull at 50% when Mark II fired off. And that is a good benchmark because many groups that use the Zerg strat push the shield wall at about that spot, the first shield wall. So we definitely have the DPS. That was the scuffed pull, and we still had the DPS. So we just need to clean up the positioning and things like that.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. We have to be topped off at 4. I was popping consumables every single try that we did with the NL core. Like every pull I popped consumes, and I was still dying right there at Mark 4 if I wasn't topped off.
So Mark 4 is gonna hit you for 3,000 hit points. So as long as you have that much, if you don't, use a whiproot tuber, or whatever you can, because Mark 4 is gonna hit you for 3k, and then Mark 5 is gonna hit you for 5k. So if you don't have that many hit points, then you should probably bone out before Mark 5 hits.
Yeah, see, that's why Bill has the extra shaman coming in at, right there. Mark III, they should be coming in max rank chain healing everybody.
We've got 4 shaman there at Mark III, plus the other 2 healers. So that's your job, healers, is to keep everybody topped off so that they can take Mark IV safely. That's the goal we're trying to get to. When we hit Mark IV without anybody dying,
crits,
then we can do a full consume pull.
Am I not supposed to transition at Mark III like it says on the spreadsheet?
You should do what your spreadsheet says, yeah. The only person that's not on the sheet is Zug.
Quick question. So Skull, I think I did it wrong in the sense that I was just trying to get also positioning down for like how it would actually go, but we wanted, like, Skull needs to die basically before we all die for this strat to work, correct?
Yes, although we can lose quite a few DPS and still complete the fight.
But Skull needs to die like first, really, before we should start moving to like our next. Okay.
Yes, we're not like rotating away from Skull while it's still alive. He has to get blown the fuck up and then the rotation.
Okay, cool.
But that's DPS.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you guys do your own thing. But I should wait since rapid fire is like a 15-second, or I guess 19 with my tier 3, I should wait until the first shield wall, correct? And then pop that to get the...
Right, because we're trying to race to beat that second shield wall.
Okay, cool. Go to 50 to 20 or so, right, is what you said?
Right. We got, 30 seconds to get from 50 to 20%?
Right.
So basically his inner cooldown won't be available at the 20% shield wall.
In this strategy, just hypothetically, if we miss getting it from 50 to 20 and shield wall drops and then at 20 it comes back up, is there like a contingency plan?
It's basically a wipe.
Okay.
Unless you have way more, I mean, if you have the DPS to survive at that point, you would have been able to push the shield wall. So you'd have to be pretty far behind to not have that. And like I said, if you got first shield wall at 50%, when Mark II fires off, you've got enough to push the shield wall. Yeah, Red, that's a good question. Tanks should save their cooldowns for cases where we have a missed taunt and you have to sit there taking an extra mark because you're waiting for your relief to have a successful taunt. So, Mark 5 is 5,000 damage, Mark 6 is 6,000 damage. So one of those would be when you'd want a last stand or something like that.
Last time I peeked around the corner and the skulls came straight to me. This time it followed the other tanks to the other side, so I had to be, I guess, more aggressive going up to the skull. So
Did he just have face aggro on a different character?
no, I don't know why it did it. I don't know if somebody did maybe an area shout that could have possibly switched the aggro.
Will said he accidentally hit a swipe.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that was a misclick. That only does like a little damage. Was it just kind of caught you off guard and started following me?
Well, it meant he never got a chance to hit Thane in the first place.
The last time I peeked around the corner, came right to me. I hit it and drug it over. But then
All right, move up.
So that's So I go up to
Yeah,
him.
single target move on your particular mob.
Yeah, that was my intention and hit the wrong button.
All good.
He was trying to feral charge and he swiped.
A lot of things going on.
So, Barris, make sure that Will is in that spot I showed you. And Red, you were in a good spot. Thag, make sure you're also all the way in that corner.
Got it.
Okay, straight line, boss.
Then talk a little too, right?
Let's focus on keeping the skull DPS alive.
Shield up.
Through Mark 4.
Mark 1.
Good job, tanks. You're all in the right spot.
Mark 2 and 5. Mark 2.
Cooldowns.
50%.
Mark 3 and 5.
No closer face melter. Stay further back. Max range.
Mark 3. Mark 4 and 5. Mark 4.
Yes, much better.
Keep them up. Keep rawhide up.
Mark 5 and 5. Mark 5.
Did we get it before shield wall?
Mark 6 and 5.
Yeah, that's 12%.
Yeah, you
No, I
beat the second shield wall.
Cool.
How's that, man?
Mark 7 and 5.
More
Okay.
graves down.
That was a good pull. Now we're going to do it with pots.
Now, do we want a pre-pot or do we want a pot after 4?
If you have fire, you want to pre-pot that. And you want to pre-pot shadow because it'll just help them keep you topped up for the first few marks. But you definitely want to use a shadow after mark 4 to survive 5.
Okay, last question, I swear.
It's okay.
So, assuming we do all that right, because it's going to absorb a crap ton, we need to basically beeline it to the middle, right? Because you still get marks.
Yes.
And then go in your normal other rotation.
Well, you say beeline, but where we're at, our guy's dead, so you're not getting any marks from anybody.
No, they do give you marks.
Yeah, his corpse.
Yeah, they keep giving you marks. So if you are melee, you should beeline for X. You don't have to go to the center first. And just CPS X.
Oh, that's right. Just a different area.
If you're ranged, you go to moon.
But yes, do it fast.
Yeah, you can't stand there looking at your hard work. You got to get out. The marks work exactly the same whether the bosses are alive or dead. So if you went and stood by Skull's dead body for 3 marks, you would take 0, 250, and 1,000 damage, just like you would if he was alive.
Yeah, his spirit gets up and keeps casting marks.
Glad you said that. I didn't realize that.
And then it's worth saying again.
I had something else. What am I forgetting?
Yeah, I mean the undead become undead.
Deader. They're deader.
Deader, deader.
Dead become deader.
Undead too, electric boogaloo.
Now, just double checking, Barris and Rawhide and Lintock are helping DPS as well at the start, right?
Yeah, I'm DPS
Yes.
until Mark 2 and then running to mine because it
Okay.
takes that long.
Same.
Same.
Zach, you're stuck on the wall.
I
Now,
got a long ass run from Thane to Zeliak.
Now, Rawhide, you can stay in till Mark 3 because then you're going to run over to relief Thag.
Okay. I've been leaving at 2 because
You can probably wait till 3. I have to leave. I
Yeah.
leave at 2 because I have to run so far.
Go ahead and do 3 for you. Because Barris is going diagonal.
Yeah, I gotta go about half again as far.
Should I stay until 3 then?
Lintock can also stay until 3, yes, because you're going on the square side.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to DPS as well this time, which will help a tiny bit. I've been hanging out in the center just watching shit. But I think, the last poll went very well. So just repeat that with consumes. And yeah, we'll use recklessness on this poll, warriors.
You are wrecking 50%.
Yeah, or a few seconds after. Because the shield wall only lasts 20 seconds. So part of your, if you can time it perfectly to where 10 seconds of your rec is during the shield wall and 10 seconds is not, that's perfect.
Last
They
time
last
you said.
15, though.
Say it
Last
again?
time you said 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds to beat the cooldown, but the shield wall itself only lasts 20 seconds.
Cool.
If you're an off tank, don't hit recklessness.
Good phrasing.
Yeah, I guess it's just the Moran pig that will be able to do that. Yeah, you're right. It's 15. So if you can do 10 out of shield wall and 5 during shield wall, just do your best to time it to be effective.
It is 15 because our document says 20.
Recklessness lasts 15.
Oh, I see.
If you're talking about marks, the first mark goes out at 20, and then it's 12 seconds every mark afterwards.
We were talking about warrior cooldowns.
I don't want to give you a heart attack, Cash.
Just like before with Skull, if you're ranged, try not to pull aggro. And Shadow, we don't have Nightfall today, so you can do at least one.
We had it at 12% that time, and Mark 5 killed us.
Yeah.
That pull wasn't quite perfect either.
Yeah, we probably could have had like 5% if Skull got there a little faster, honestly.
And tanks got to your spots in time because I was in the center and I didn't take any marks. So that was the first time that's happened, which was good. So just do that again.
How forgiving is the center spot to the other marks?
Be dead on.
I try to be dead on. I'm not sure what the tolerance is.
I would say 5.
Now remember that Diamond is moving around a bit because the tank has to avoid the void zones. So
right.
Still need int. Ugh, I almost ran off.
And do we know how many void zones get dropped before the first one disappears? Because I know they do despawn.
I'm not sure about that. Now, if you're dual wielding, good time to use your Consecrated Sharpening Stone on your offhand. Okay, let's go to our spots. Hug left.
By the way, I looked it up. The void zones last 90 seconds.
Is everybody supposed to have Shadow Prot?
Nope.
Not the potion, but just the buff.
Nothing's resistible.
Hmm.
Red Hoof.
Void zones last 90 seconds and are casted every 12 seconds, so there will be about 7 up.
Red Hoof.
As a note, Warriors, Life Giving Gem and Last Stand last 20 seconds, so you should have it up. If you pop it during the start of a mark, it'll hit you. It'll be still up for the next mark that goes out.
Everyone's ready? Straight line boss.
Your shield's out. First mark coming up.
Mark 1. Mark 2 and 5.
Cooldowns.
Mark 2. Mark 3 and 5. Mark 3. Mark 4 and Mark 4.
Protection potion, Skull.
Mark 5. And
Good job.
5.
Run to X if you're melee. Go to Moon if you're ranged.
Mark 5.
Lintock down.
Mark Mark 6 in 5.
Papa, take that. Watch the back.
Mark 6.
I'm coming to relieve X.
We'll need someone else on diamond.
All right,
Mark 7 and 5.
you want me to go to diamond?
Not yet.
Yes.
I'm 2 stacks. You can wait a little bit.
Mark 7. Mark 8 and 5.
I won't be able to take X at 9.
Moon's running crazy.
Mark
I'll need someone else on Mark 9 for X.
Mark 9 and 5. Mark 9.
Down.
Oh,
Papa's
they
down.
murdered everybody.
Mocha has diamond all the way in the corner. All the way. To your right. Now back in the corner.
I have no choice but to obey.
Did everybody use their second shadow pots?
Nope.
No.
At Mark 4?
It will.
Yeah, hunters don't need to.
Wait, is Mark 5 5k health?
Yes.
Oh, so in theory, if I have 5,500 and aren't low, I'm okay too then.
Correct.
I hit sprint right when Skull went down, and I got out before 5 hit.
Yeah, we downed it
Not
pretty.
sprint and got 5.
So I guess there's a mechanic where every time a mark goes out, it reduces threat.
Every time a mark goes out, it cuts threat in half for everyone. Correct.
What's the point of that mechanic? Like, if it cuts threat in half for everybody?
I don't know. The only thing that I can think of where it would make a difference is it basically decreases the difference between the players. Like if you have 1,000 and 500, then you're going to have 500 and 250. So you're only 250 away from the top. You see what I'm saying?
And I would think they just don't want the other three tanks to just be building an insurmountable amount of threat and have threat not be an issue for those 3 off tanks. Because if everyone's coming from Skull and those tanks have had, a minute and a half to build threat, then no one's going to pull threat on them.
Do we have
a giant lead and then it just kept cutting shorter.
Do we have enough pots to do another one?
I have a ton, so my answer is yes.
Yes.
Who does not?
I need another fire protection.
I got you. Do that. Open with stack here in a minute.
Thanks.
Lintok has a couple extra shadows if people are short.
How come Lintok didn't get healed when he tanked?
I mean, would you want to really heal Lintok?
Like he got 10 seconds of healing.
That was during what, Mark 5 and 6? So
Yes.
let's see what healers were there during those marks.
They could have been dead. That's true.
You heal the birthday boy.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
2.5 weeks.
And so it's short and cage. Were they dead?
No, I am not supposed to move to diamond until 6. So at 5, when he died, I started running, and I can't heal when I'm running.
It's empty bag and Juan. Wasn't Lintok on diamond?
Nuamba bag is only on there till
When I got there, Lintok was moving in position, and by the time I got to him, he was dead.
Yeah.
So he just got hit, I guess, when you're moving.
Are the healers able to see which tank is actually there when we're doing the transitions pretty easily?
Yeah, because they were kind of all by themselves,
You target of target, you can see which thing the boss is hitting, and that's the tank that's tanking.
And you can also see the health bar. You know, in other
The only
words, I don't think that's being a problem.
I had issues was when I went to my third tank, and one of the bosses had already gone down, and so there seemed to be a lot of people, but that's kind of when chaos ensued too.
Well, that's the point at which targeting the boss, and with target of target, you'll be able to see who's tanking him.
You could
So,
just-
Yeah. So yeah, is a good rule of thumb probably is for the healers.
Yeah, in general.
Healer just target when it says move to moon, target the moon, and make sure you're healing that person. Or diamond or whoever.
Make sure you leave some pots when you when you're moving too. Like before you move, put on like a renew or a shield, or both.
The tanks are moving so much, you'll have to do that to know.
So we down skull at a duration that we can sort of expect as a pretty good benchmark for future attempts with consumes. And what some folks notice there is that even if they used a second greater shadow protection pot, so you used your pre-pot and then you potted again when instructed, there's a chance you could still die. And the reason for that is that the greater shadow protection pot resists a range of damage. It's not a fixed value. And so there's a chance that if your pot resists at the lower end of that range, you and you're not at full health, you might still die after having used the second pot. So it's really important that once we get skull down, as we transition to move to our second location, if you can heal, then heal before you start to move, just to make sure that we have at least some health recovery to get folks topped off. If you know that you're not at full health after having popped your second shadow protection pot, it may be worth bandaging quickly before you take off to either X or Moon to make sure that you're not going to die from that last tick of the shadow mark.
One in the ring.
Hug lip.
I put me and Rod Tag in the same group with Quell. So Quell, just refresh that fire totem when you can.
We've got some folks missing protection pots.
So when you guys hear Barris call Mark 4, that's the time you want to pop your... Now, after Mark 4, I'm saying, is when you want to pop your second shadow pot. That'll let you survive Mark 5 as you're running out. But after what I saw on my frames was when Mark IV hit, everybody got real low, but they were still alive, and the healers kept them alive. So that's what we want to see.
All right, this ready check isn't for pull. This is just to check buffs. Drumroll, do you have pots? One-Eyed Will, do you have pots?
I do. I'm going to use it right now.
Suglife, do you have pots? Nigel, do you have pots? Mortouche? Face Melter?
I'm on the moon side, so
dead
I don't
red
get
skull, so I
like
don't need
wet
it.
ready to die. So
Gotcha.
Eagle has to AFK for this bowl, so we can go straight line boss now.
Pre-shield up.
Mark 1 and 5. Mark 1. Mark 2 and 5.
Cooldowns.
Mark 2. Mark 3 and 5. Mark 3. Mark 4 soon. Mark 4.
Shadow pots.
Mark 5 and 5. Mark 5.
Melee to X.
Mark 6 in 5.
Bandage.
Mark 6. Mark 7.
Remember max range on moon.
Got it.
Mark 8 and 5.
Go, Vil.
Keep Vil up. Keep Vil up on X. Big heals on Vil.
Come on, guys.
That was a chain.
Mark 9 and 5. Mark 9. Oh, I went right into it.
Wipe. All I got was a chain heal from Zug.
Oh, we got another boss down.
What, we get X down?
No, X was at 78%.
No, X just killed me.
What are you talking about, Priest?
We got Thoraz, did we not?
He's so high right now.
He forgot how to count.
We got one boss down at least.
As far as Vil going down, I was transitioning over from Moon to X.
That's me. I was supposed to heal him.
There should have been 3 healers at least at X. Like there's 6 healers at Skull when Skull dies. So where are you guys going? I mean, if you came from X, you can't go back to X. But the
Do you know what
others
mark
could.
it was?
So I was on X until mark 7, and then I went to 7, or I went there because I had 3 marks from Morgan. So whoever was there to replace me, did they show up?
I died.
It was mark 8.
Yeah, I died around 7 or 8. But like I said, I got no. Say it again.
Who was supposed to show up on March 7th?
Night was supposed to show up at 7. So I was supposed to move. I moved at 7 from Moon to X, but I was still running when he was going down. So
I'm just saying there should have been 2 there already that weren't moving, plus whatever was coming from Skull.
Face Melter should have been there, looking at the chart here, because they would have gone there at M5 or Mark 5. And then Nigel would have gone there at Mark 6. And then Mark 7. Is, nope.
Yeah, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
3A priest mode would have just moved to 6 on 4 to X on 4, so stays there through that period. Doesn't move till 7. Face melter should have been there. Amberbag,
So-
you weren't supposed to show. You would have showed up at mark 8, not 7. So you were coming in, but not there yet. So those are the 3.
Where are the 6 healers on Skull going after Skull dies?
Some of them are going to
I go to
Diamond
because that's where it's supposed to go until mark 7. Like I just get to Skull as Skull dies, then I go to the center until mark 7, which is what it says for me on the chart, and then mark 7 is when I go to Diamond. Should I just be going to Diamond straight after Skull then? Or should I
Once
just wait
once
until-
Skull is dead
Yeah.
and there's 3 targets alive, you can rotate between those 3 targets. You don't have to stop in the center until there's only 2 targets left. Because your debuff will drop off as long as you're taking 3 at each spot. So basically after Skull dies, you start having more freedom about where you go. And this applies to tanks as well.
Well, but basically the freedom is move clockwise, and if you need to drop marks, you can stay in center to get rid of them if nobody else out there needs healing, or you can move to your next target a little early.
Okay, but what I'm saying is where the healing is needed after Skull is dead is at X. So if all 6 of you are moving clockwise, that's away from where you're needed most, right?
Okay. I mean, the way that we've got it on the charts mirrors what was in the video.
But if you break it down this way, if Ville's taunting on mark 6, priest mode is still there, not moving till 7, but it doesn't show priest mode had any heals on him. And then face melter would have been there for 6 and 7, and there's no heals on him. So that's sort of what we're looking at is the healers that are assigned during those marks.
6 is when I start moving to relieve Ra. So whoever is leaving at 6 isn't going to be able to heal me.
Okay.
Like I've got 4 or 5 seconds, and then I got to be at square. So I've got 5 seconds to run 20 yards.
Yeah, and Nigel's moving in as well to the same place you're going, Bill. Both of you are moving to X in the same mark. But it sounds like 2 of the folks who were supposed to really be there healing you weren't. So
We also need tanks to be topped off after Skull dies. All the DPS can go somewhere in bandage, but if we, like I had to stop to bandage that time, I was at like 2.5k health.
One minor thing that I noticed there when the large group of DPS died from the chain, if we stack a little bit more towards the X side, because I think it was maybe a healer that maybe got a little too close, just so we can be outside that 10-yard range from where the healers are staying at, then it wouldn't chain to us.
Healers don't need to be within 35 yards, so we shouldn't have to avoid our healers. Healers
Okay.
can help us out by being outside of that range as well. So on Moon, target the boss, and if you're a healer, I suspect you have some sort of, some sort of healing method where you don't need to target your the person you're healing. But if you do need to target your healer, target the boss or the person you're healing. Target the boss first. Make sure you're out of 35-yard range. Look at, for example, look at your Mind Blast spell. If you're, well, never mind, I have increased range. Look at some spell that's 35-yard range or more from the boss and make sure that you're outside of that range. So you can guarantee that you're not going to be the one that the Holy Smite gets chained to.
Yeah, I'm finding it helpful as I move to target the boss I'm moving to. So that way I'm seeing his target of target, and I can heal him on my regular frames or whatever, but that'll also do like Maddox was just saying, allow me to see if I'm in range for a lightning bolt. And if I am, then I'm a little too close.
Yeah, Villa, I was trying to give you another fire pot, but you
I'm,
look like you're good.
I'm okay for this one, yeah. So, I understand what you guys were saying about the video and the sheet and everything, but it doesn't hurt to have two people from those 6 at Skull go to the other spots each, 2 each, right? Then we've just got more than enough healing. No one needs to go to the center until we have at least two targets dead. Like all this fight is about after Skull dies is keeping the tanks alive.
Okay, so what I would suggest is anybody who, after Skull dies, is on the sheet has you at center for 2 marks or more. Just go give some love at X first before you move to your next target. If it's just 1, you don't have enough time.
Unless
we'll just
you're
spend
coming,
it all running.
Unless you've still got X marks, yes.
Thank you, Priest Mode.
DPS was really good. We've killed him twice now, on time. So good job.
That time we did it with everybody up too.
Can Cage in group 6 get a fort and a spirit? I'm trying to move in range before I go across the room. Thank you.
And tanks, I would say, once you get relieved at your primary target, I should say the front tanks, once you get relieved, you're never going to relieve Skull. So you could spend a cycle helping out in the back if somebody dies early or something.
Looking good on the pre-pots, folks.
Okay, hold up a minute. Okay, straight line boss. Let's do it.
Free shield up.
Mark 1 and 5.
Make sure you're stacked up, guys.
Mark 2.
Pull downs.
Mark 2. Mark 3 and 5. Mark 3. Mark 4 and Mark 4.
Shadowpot.
Mark 5 and 5.
Heal rawhide.
Mark 5.
Bandage.
Mark 6 and 5. Mark 6. Mark 7 and 5. Mark 7. Red Hood's dead.
Who needs relieving in the back?
Red Hoof.
Tags on it. I got it in 1.
Okay.
Not enough heals.
How's
Mark
Diamond?
I'm coming, Bill.
Tag him on the way to Moon.
Mark 10 and 5.
Coming Diamond.
Mark 10. Mark 11 and 5. Mark 11. Mark 12 and 5.
Got you, Papa.
Mark 12.
No heals at Moon now.
Mark 13 and
I
5.
need relief at Moon.
Drum's on his way.
Mark
Moon
13.
tuck.
I got diamonds.
Down,
Somebody get
down.
Moon.
Papa's coming to Moon.
Moon is loose.
Healville on Diamond.
God damn.
Going to Moon.
Mark 14 and 5.
Alright, pull out, pull
Mocha's
out.
down.
Heal
Heal
Mocha.
on Mocha.
All the way to the corner.
I'll babysit Moon.
Green shields on Mocha.
Mark 15 and 5.
You can't be getting marked. Rawhide, you can't be getting marks. You're already
Loose.
How many marks you got, Bill?
Moon's loose.
Papa's got it.
Papa on Moon.
I have 4 marks.
Oh my god, don't die. Don't you dare die, Papa.
I'm letting my 5 drop and then I'll head over there.
He won't die
Got
from this
25
mark.
seconds.
He'll die from the next one.
Diamonds loose.
White.
Did we get X down?
No, he's at like 57.
56%.
How about Moon?
No.
Okay.
Moon's
31.
56.
When Red Hoof died, like right as the melee were rotating off of X, the range got chained by Zeliek, and
Okay.
then we were gimped.
Yeah, that was really solid progress. We just need to clean up tank heals.
Yeah, just one question. We were saying that there was no one on Moon while I was moving there for Mark 12. Is that a normal thing or not?
No, that was because of how many people died.
I do have a comment ask question about Moon as well. After we got Skull, I basically was the first DPS there because I'm a hunter and I can run. And I think I'm not sure. How are the healers crossing from, I guess, Diamond or X to Moon? Because I'm pretty sure some people are like running kind of like in front, like in between, and that's why the chains keep happening. So maybe is it better to run like up the stair area and around?
When you're dropping marks, you should be standing right at the base of the middle of the stair.
No, I think he's talking like healers transitioning from one
Yeah,
boss to another.
exactly.
If you're going to or from Moon, you should run in a way where you never get within range of the I-beams.
So I'd say go over the top. Yeah.
Yes.
That's yeah.
We go for another one.
We should have time for one more.
Excellent.
Last pull. You know what that means.
We get X down.
Oh, hold on.
That's a win.
Don't pop yet.
Did we clarify that? So when you transition, you're saying run over up the stairs and to the other side?
To my knowledge, as long as you're not running in between the tank and the range, that's where you run into trouble. So you don't need to, I guess, necessarily run like all the way around, but just run, I guess, in parallel to the range then, so you're not like a buffer in between the two. I think.
I thought it's the only thing to do with the range of the boss, not.
If we're low on pots, we should not do another one. So how are we on pots?
Runny has one of each that I can give Dash Cell.
Type 1 in raid if you need a shadow pot, 2 in raid if you need a fire pot.
Stag, you have my extras?
I do.
Looks like we're doing pretty good.
Vil, Nurs, and Slurpee trade Lintok.
Alright, I'll train you when we're buffing.
Yeah.
I can hear the ching every time we die.
The cost of success.
Ilt put it in raid chat, but I think it's worth voicing as well. Just be prepared to use a lot of shadow protection potions on these guys. Just make sure you come, bring too many. It's gonna cost gold, but like Crit said, it's the cost of success.
I mean, this is what we were wanting to do. So,
Just that.
This is why we're here.
That last pull, the DPS was the best yet. Like, we killed them the fastest we have, so keep it up.
By the way, Will, on those pools, she drops them every 12 seconds. So that's your warning.
You can
got about a
almost
marked amount of time to move, and then she'll drop another one.
Yeah,
Okay.
You can almost line them up against that back wall, and then the last one will despawn all 7 in a row.
Yeah, and for Saffron, when we get to that, I have at least 100 frostpots, which is our inheritance from Ishanu. Because I sold all the nature pots he gave me.
can we trade those in for
So-
Ishanu?
So healer wise, in theory, there should be 1 out of the group of 3 moving and 2 standing still for every mark. So we should never have a case where there's only 1 healer there.
No, there's only
What's
2 people in each
probably
hill point at the beginning. At the Diamond and Moon, there's only 2 healers at the start until Skull frees up.
That's true. That's true.
Fire on tuck.
But the point being that if we have somebody who's moving a little slow or somebody who's moving a little fast, we can end up with gaps. So when they're calling 5 seconds to mark 3, I start to kind of ooze over to the right a little bit, and then by mark 3, I'm running. If we're all kind of doing it at the same time, then we probably shouldn't have such gaps. So.
But that last attempt, Red was like deep in the fucking corner, and it was like really hard to heal him because he adjusted really. It was really bad.
Yeah, I had a little line of sight.
Let's get
Red
bust out, guys. Let's
getting
go.
a
I
grip
see
on you
full
too.
mana bars and no fort.
So I think that corner over there was pretty tight because I did have trouble getting line of sight when you were tucked in there really good, which is great, but a little bit.
When he moved, like when someone else was moving, so I had to adjust constantly while he moved him back in the corner after the initial positioning. So then that fucked my heals because then I had to move for a mark, and Night Maiden came in when he was already at half, and I couldn't get a heal off even at Nature Swiftness. Like once you have the boss, you need to position him right away and don't keep moving him because if we have to move as the healer, it's gonna really fuck us over.
Except Ms. Lamo, because you cannot stand still on her.
Well, yeah, but I mean that.
Yeah, the voids, the diamond, the voids tanks will have to move a little bit.
You don't have to move too far out of the void zone, by the way. You can really stack them up on each other.
It's not that you're too far in. You were just out of position, and then you moved her like deep into a corner, which LOS where I was, because I was in the position like Cage said, where I'm gonna preemptively get ready to move to the other position, which was on the opposite side of where you were, because then you moved her in, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, maybe Red, 1 or 2 steps forward out of that cubby would be useful in that position.
All the way in the corner.
Yeah, it's really weird on line of sight issues.
Can we summon Maddox?
He's here.
He's here.
Okay. Maddox does switch in priest mode. Are you good?
Yep, ready.
Ready to roll?
Okay, straight line boss.
Free shield up.
First mark in 5. Mark 1. Mark 2 and 5.
Cooldowns.
Mark 2. Mark 3 and 5. Mark 3. Mark 4 and 5. Mark 4.
Pot.
Mark 5 and 5. Mark 5.
Night Maiden, you're too close.
Advantage if you need to.
Mark 6 and 5. Mark 7 and 5. Mark 7. Mark 8 and 5.
Careful on threat on moon.
Stack on square.
Mark 8.
Ranged. With Dex.
Mark 9 and 5. Mark 9. Mark 10 and 5.
I'll jump it.
Mark 10. Careful guys, I'm gonna drop the void zone in 5.
Pop it
Need
down.
someone at X.
Dag.
Range, move to diamond.
Can we get pop up?
Keep Sag up.
Mark 12.
You guys need a relief back there?
We're okay.
How many stacks you got, Thag?
Down to 3.
3. I have 3 stacks.
Alright, go in there in 5.
Mark 14 and 5.
I'm going to relieve Thag then. Rawhide.
Okay, I'll hang back.
Mark 14.
Ranged, move to moon. Wait for your stack to fall off.
4 stacks.
Mark 15 and 5.
Mograin's at 50%.
Mark 15. Mark 16 and 5.
Oh, Bears, you changed this one right now.
Yep.
No.
You come in like that, Barris, go to the wall thing to him.
Yeah.
18 and 5. 18 and 5.
Okay, good job. We'll pick it up next week.
So what happens after 14? Do we move back to 1?
You just keep rotating around. You don't move back to 1 necessarily because some of those bosses are dead now. You just keep rotating from the first boss you can go to the next one you can go to the center, to the next one. You only have to go to the center if you're melee. Ranged can keep going back and forth between X and Moon and Diamond because they can attack all of them. If you're melee, you go from X